President Trump's order has put many families in a state of legal uncertainty, including not only those who've been detained, but also those who were born in one of the banned countries and have been living in America legally. We've had a flurry of developments just in the last 24 hours. To help us understand where this all stands, now I'm joined by CBS News Justice reporter Paula Reid. Paula, so much to get to. Let's start with the decisions that were handed down overnight by federal judges in New York and Boston. What were those cases about, first of all, and tell us what the judges decided.
Elaine, in Boston, lawsuits were filed on behalf of two men, green card holders, who were detained in the airport after the president's order. Now, in Brooklyn, lawsuits were filed on behalf of two Iraqi citizens who were given permission by the U.S. government to come here. They, too, were detained at the airport, and some believe that they were going to be sent back. But late last night, a judge in Brooklyn in that New York case prevented the government from actually sending those men back, or anyone who has been detained, sending anyone back as a result of the president's order. That was considered a huge victory for the ACLU that was representing those men. Then a few hours later, in that Boston case, a judge ruled that not only can they not be sent back, but they shouldn't even be detained. So, Elaine, the combination of these two orders appears to effectively blunt the enforcement of the president's orders here, saying that you cannot detain or deport anyone as a result of what the president has put forth.
So on the heels of that, Paula, we understand the Department of Homeland Security has now issued a response to those decisions. What does that say?
Well, what I just said is one interpretation. That's the scholarly interpretation of the law, but many people disagree. It's unclear. And the Department of Homeland Security says they will honor the judge's orders, but they also said they're going to continue to implement the president's executive action on immigration and refugees. So what's important to point out here is even if these judges' orders do apply, even if they're approved all the way to the Supreme Court, the fact is, Elaine, they only apply to a very narrow group of people. And that's mostly people who were in transit at the time the president's order was put forth, people who found themselves in an airport with an unexpected new policy and were sort of in flux. As a result, it appears most of the president's action is still in effect. It's still legal. It has not been tried or denied on its merits.
So, Paula, then, do we have a sense, as things stand now, to whom President Trump's order does and does not apply to?
Well, there's been a lot of confusion about green card holders. We were originally told that that'll be a case-by-case basis. But as you noted just now with Errol, now the White House is saying that no, this doesn't even apply to green card holders. It's just that you should expect some more questions. And they also argue that if you're coming from one of these 7 Muslim majority countries with a green card, you should always expect additional questions and that this is nothing new. But we do know the president's order applies to refugees. There is an indefinite hold on refugees coming from Syria, and there's also going to be a 120-day hold on refugees coming from other countries while the administration reevaluates those procedures. Also, when it comes to more traditional immigration paths, there is a 90-day hold on entry by citizens of 7 Muslim-majority countries. And of course, those are Syria, Iraq, Libya, Iran, Sudan, Somalia, and Yemen.
And so, Paula, what is likely to happen next? There are, of course, other legal challenges expected. What kind of arguments are likely to be made?
Well, in just the first 36 hours after the president's action, 4 federal judges ruled against him. So, yes, there are challenges across the country. This is ripe for Supreme Court review. The White House would argue that the president has the discretion to take actions to protect national security. But advocates for these immigrants would argue that he has gone too far and that Congress has prohibited the president or anyone else from banning immigration groups specific to a country. Now, of course, President Obama's own executive action on immigration was denied by a federal appeals court that went all the way to the Supreme Court. And the argument there was that he had overstepped his bounds. Yes, he has discretion, but he can't rewrite the laws. And that could be where President Trump winds up as well.
Still a lot of open questions. Paula Reid, thanks to you for helping us sort through what it is we do know so far.